Ready to go.
Okay. Good morning, everybody, and welcome back. Today we're working on this little Husqvarna 128 LD weed eater that we worked on a couple of weeks ago and we fixed the recoil on. Now, when I got it, I knew it didn't start, but we checked the piston and it all looked good, and you can see it's got a ton of compression. So we're going to start at the beginning. We're going to look at the fuel filter. And I don't know if you can see it. Let me move you around a little bit. The fuel filter is just right here. And it's not in the bottom of the tank. It's way off to one side. This tank goes all the way across the bottom of the machine. So let's go ahead and have a look at the carburetor. Because I did test it with this completely full of fuel, and she still wouldn't run. So let's open it up and see what we got going on. Now, when I visited it last time, we redid the recoil mechanism on it. I was kind of hoping that would be the only problem she had. But she still won't run. Okay, turn that straight. And let's have a look at our little carburetor and our fuel lines and everything. Okay, our fuel lines actually look really good. I have a feeling that somebody's worked on this before, and they very likely replaced the fuel lines. They just didn't place them in the tank well. And remember, whenever you pull the fuel lines off, make sure that the gas cap is open, because if this gas cap's on and it's got gas in it, the pressure in the gas is going to just kick gas all over the place. So yeah, I'm willing to call these lines good, but I'm going to get in here and I'm going to move that around so that it faces the right direction. Hopefully we won't have to replace it just because it's too short. Let me scoot you out of the way so I can see what I'm doing. Oh yeah, this one's going to be easy. It's just simply hooked inside. The line's long enough. We should need it to turn and go the other direction. And there it goes. Easy peasy. So now we more than likely have a rebuild kit for this carburetor. But we've also got an extra carburetor laying around for it. Now if you're doing yours and you don't do this all the time, just throw a new carburetor on it and be done with it. I'll include a link in the description to the new carburetors. So I do this all the time, and still every once in a while they'll just fail. And don't let your friends tell you, oh no, you're going to ruin it if you replace it with a cheap aftermarket carburetor. You see, this is a Zama. If you look right here, really close, it's made in China. It's hard to find an American carburetor nowadays. So let's have a look at the diaphragm, see what she looks like. Okay, it's not terrible, but it's not great. So let's go look at the fuel gasket. Or the fuel diaphragm. I've heard it called a fuel diaphragm. I've always called it a fuel gasket. Let's see how she looks. And make note of the order of the gasket and the actual fuel diaphragm. Okay, yeah, you can see this one's got a gigantic bubble in the middle of it. And the flaps are not flat. So that would be hard pressed to work correctly. The rest of it looks okay. Okay, let's put something in this and test this. So I'll be back in 1 second. Okay, I put a little gas in it outside and then press this down. The gas remained in it until I pressed the needle and seat down, and then the gas drained out, so that's good. So we're going to check the filter, the little screen inside the carburetor, and it's right here, and that's perfect clean, so that looks good. So let me see if I don't have another gasket for this bad boy. And when you're ordering gaskets or when you're putting one in, you'll note these look identical. Everything's almost the same, except this one, the old one, has a hole right here that this one doesn't have. So that means this gasket will not work. Okay, I found another one. Let's compare these side by side. And this has the additional hole. And they match. And we've got a good match, so we can use this one. We'll go ahead and put a metering diaphragm in it just because we've got it apart. Even though this one looks not great, but not terrible either. So we'll take the gasket off. Get the new one in place. And it's hard to put these on wrong or backwards or anything. Sorry about that, I got called away for a second. So now what we're going to do is we're going to hold the throttle open just a little bit and get everything in place and let it go. And the reason we're doing that is the idle stop screw is just bumping it. Now on this one, the primer bulb looks fine. So I'm not going to worry about that. It's got a little bit of color to it, but they always do after a little time. We're going to very gently get that in. And if you're not using a variable speed tool, definitely do this with a regular screwdriver because you don't want to strip these out. And like I said, just replace the carburetor entirely if you're not sure. Okay, I've got a good gasket. Oh, it's right here. Very nice. So this imitates your old one. You can see you got the gasket underneath. So we'll do this way. Get them all lined up. And sometimes this plate's got a pin, and this one does. So we use the pin to clip it all together. And note that the gasket's going closer to the carburetor, and the metering diaphragm is closer to the metal plate. Get that all lined up nice and neat. Very nice, and there's a hole right here that this pin lines up with. And we're up there just perfect. And we've got a wiener. Now usually I'll run them through the ultrasonic, but this one looks super clean. So I'm not terribly worried about it. I'm sure the internals are as good as it looks. And one of the advantages of using the carburetor that came on it is you usually don't have to adjust it. Well, 90% of the time you don't have to adjust it. Make sure we're nice and evenly snug. Make sure we're evenly snug here and good to go. Okay, let's stick her back on and see what we got. Throttle cable first. I think this one actually came in from underneath. There we go. Make sure our little guide's in place. I'm going to do the fuel lines after we've got it all together. Just because for me, that's the way I prefer to do it usually. There we go. Okay, now everything's sitting there. I'll use this to put our fuel lines back on. And we're going to put a little gas in it before we tighten everything up and make sure our fuel lines are in the right order. And you know it is when you prime it up, you can see the fuel run out. You just want to make sure it's going out the right hose. Okay, let's put just a little bit of gas in it. Okay, that'll be plenty. Seal up our gas can. Let's put our, well, now I guess we'll prime it first. And this does not appear to be priming, so let's pull her apart again. Happens to the best of them, guys. Now we'll pull this off and switch them and see what happens. Either we've got an air leak in the carburetor or we had our fuel lines backwards. And we had our fuel lines backwards. That's pretty funny. As you can see, nobody's perfect. But one of the important parts when you're working on a little engine is don't let yourself get frustrated easily. That would have been the death of us. We never would have figured that out once we got it all together. So let's get our air box back on and see if she starts. I'm expecting good things. Okay, let's give this big boy a run and see what we've got. Full choke. We already primed it on the bench. Sounds pretty good. The idle sounds a little low. Okay, she runs nice and the switch works. Okay, so we've got 2 screws in here. Let's get a little light on this. We've got 2 screws in here. You can see one closer to the engine and one farther from the engine. And when we're adjusting, if yours needs an adjustment, the one closest to the engine will control how well it idles, and the one farther from the engine will control how well it revs up. So focus on closer and idling first, and then go to revving it up second. Now that came out really nice. That was a pretty easy little fix. Like I said before, if you're not used to it and you don't do it all the time, go ahead and buy a new carburetor and toss it on, and you won't have to do a whole lot of adjustment most of the time. And when you order a carburetor, make sure you get one that has a kit with this little piece in it, this little wire tool. And when you run your fuel lines, because you might as well put fuel lines in it while you're doing it for most of them, this just makes it a whole lot easier. So all you new people out there, if you made it this far, you might as well subscribe. It's free and it's what we work for. So thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time.